Hello champions and future champions, hello ChessMood family. Gabuzyan is here with you and welcome to our daily lesson. Today we have a topic which is called paralyzing knights. As we know, these are the most sneaky pieces over the board and sometimes playing together they can make greatest pressure on opponent's position. Now, white has an advantage in this endgame. Better rooks controlling the open lines. Black's position is little more weakened, pawns are advanced and white is very active in total. But with one maneuver, white can exponentially increase the pressure on opponent's position and paralyze most of them. I will offer you to pause the video trying to figure out what white can do at the moment. White now goes knight d4, attacking pawn on f5. Black logically replies pawn g6, and suddenly knight d6 happened. Black continued rook f6, and let's see this position. White knights are controlling so much territory and terribly limiting black's heavy pieces. Those four very important squares are covered. Knights are as well holding this f6 rook through f7 square. This rook is now not having any moves. In other words, these pieces are also limiting very much opponent knights, and playing next to each other, they control a wide range of territory. Those are the paralyzing pieces, and they are preventing black from the activity. In order to grow the pressure, now white makes another strong move, rook c7, taking the heavy piece to the 7th rank, and this is also paralyzing black knights. What is the reason? If here black tries to go knight f8 and exchange our e6 knight, it's gonna be failed because of rook g7 check. King h8 and knight f7. White forces black to take, and after rook f7, white's staying with an extra exchange. That's why it's winning. Otherwise, after rook c7, black is paralyzed. They cannot move this knight. They cannot move the knight on b6, it's protecting knight on d7. Rook on a8 has only one move, going to b8 square. And in this middle game position, when black has a lot of pieces, they're almost out of the moves. This is the power of paralyzing knights. Here black played a5, and even though we have such a big advantage, we still need to win and find the further ideas. What to play here for white is my next question. You can pause the video and try to figure it out. Since we know black is paralyzed, they cannot do anything, white goes for this rook, which is not having any moves. Playing now h3. Idea is to play pawn g4 and later on going g5, trying to trap this rook. That's why after h3, black has to play h5. But when this move happens, black is creating a pawn hole on g5 square. And now white's using the last inactive piece, going king f2. Idea is to take king to g5 square. Even though now black goes pawn h4, preventing it, it's just a temporary measure. What's the reason? White has a strong continuation, which I will offer you to find again. You can pause the video and go for this. Now white goes pawn g4, threatening to play g5. If black takes with the f-pawn, we take back. g5 is still the threat. That's why after g4, black has to take, and now king g3. No matter that we little bit weakened our pawn structure here, our king will still be advanced to g5. It has happened rook b8, and now king h4. Rook e8, king g5. White exponentially advanced, meanwhile black is still stuck in the same paralyzed position. It's happening rook b8. Now white goes h4, since we don't need this rook to be on the b file, because after rook a8, white already makes the decisive rook b7 move. Knight on d7 is overloaded. What am I trying to say? It protects at the same time knight on b6 and the rook on f6. And right now white threatens to capture on b6. Black cannot take back because the rook is hanging, but otherwise the piece will be lost. That's why after rook b7, black's forced to play rook a6, but the other issue now is coming out. White goes knight to c7, and this rook here is trapped. Black takes on d6, and is ending up without an exchange after knight a6. As well, their position is lost. White extra rook is very much active, and through the open lines they are crushing black's position. In this way, white's creating monster knights, paralyzing all of the opponent's ideas, positions, and the moves. Let's go ahead and we will see another very similar to this position. Here it's white to move. We're missing a pawn but has activity. Knight on c6 is a great piece, limiting moves like rook b8 or rook d8. Black cannot fight for the open lines. All the time, this knight attacks pawn on a7. And what can we do is my question. You can pause the video and try to make a decision. As we have seen previously, one knight is good, but knights next to each other is just a great asset. White goes knight d4 with a tempo. Queen f5, knight d6, and after queen h5, take a look at this. Knights are again controlling 4 squares, black heavy pieces are not having any moves. In total, they control a very wide range of territory. Pawn on f7 is under attack, pawn on a7. At this moment, white can increase the pressure, and I will offer you to pause the video trying to figure out what would be a nice idea here for white. Using power of the knights and paralyzed position of opponent pieces, white has a lot of time. We can play e4, advancing this pawn to a6, trying to take pawn on a7 with this knight in future and creating very strong passed pawn. Since black is paralyzed, I'm not getting tired repeating this wall. White can do whatever they want. So in this way, another time white's obtaining very big advantage. Let's now go ahead and you will get your homework position for this topic. Here it's white to move, and you can share your thoughts and ideas how to play in the comments section below. GM Gabuzyan was here with you. Thank you for your subscriptions, likes, and sharing this video with your friends. We appreciate it a lot. I will see you next time during our next daily lessons.